Oke, halo teman-teman, kita mau lanjutin genshin. Aduh, ini udah kan ya? Oke. Bentar, gue lupa ke toilet.
Lord of Geo, please do us a favor and clear this up at your earliest convenience. I submit that we cannot afford for the codices to get damp.
Oke. Kabar gue lupa gue mau ngapain. Ya paling gampang dulu kita function dulu ya. Oke, kita hari ini ngetalent Shino dulu ya.
Motion to compel.
Ya udah. Kalau dari kombat. Anjir, lagunya habis. Anjir, lagunya habis. Sabar, ini sayapnya si Cookie kita ganti dulu ya. Bentar dulu. Ini berapa sih? Sayap. Siapa ya? Oh, ini. Mantap, mantap. Masih ada hidup. Meninggal. Kayaknya pada persen aktor ya. Kan 1554. Coba kita Shinobu 12, mantap ini. Kabar ini shot dari mana? Oh gitu. Lagi level ini. Sekarang nge-heal Cookie. Oh ini 100% uptime. Set. Panggil terus dong. Mana sih? Dah. Permen level 4 ke 6 berapa ya? Pak. Kabar ya, lagi nyariin dulu. 6, 9. Berarti perlu 15. Sementara gua ada 6 tambah 9. Aduh. Sabar. Mana sih elegance? Ini elegance. 6 tambah 9. Berarti ya udahlah. Tambah 9 itu kan 15. 15 dikali 2 30. Terus buat naikin. Dah.
Thank you for coming.
Eh,
Bond is strong.
iya jangan. Intiman Kuki Shinobu itu harus selalu di bawah 50% ya. Oke aja fragile. Sabar, gue lupa kita perlu berapa sih? 2 ya? Yes. Timnya apa ya? Yang bagus. Ini dia. Lalu apakah dia? Lalu Yalan dan juga Vetai.
Well, since you asked so nicely.
Sabar. Senjatanya Miko salah nih.
I'm always watching. Think you can get away? Shine down. Now you shall perish.
Ah, gua gak ada healer.
Shatter. Right here. Emerge. Here comes the time for takeoff. Yahoo! Let's behold.
Baik. Bye.
Right now, emerge. Game's up. Busted. Shine down. Think you can get away?
Alah, bodoh sekali Ventico.
Inazuma shines eternal. Illusion shattered. Gotcha. Here comes the cash.
Tidak.
What a dreadful ending. There is no escape. Now you shall perish.
Aduh. Oh. Oke, kita coba ganti Cookie Shinobu aja ya. Soalnya parah anjir di sini nggak ada healer. Sakit.
Wait for my signal. The bond is strong.
Lah, healnya lah, baiklah.
I'll settle this. Time for takeoff. Brace yourself. Illusion shattered. Torn to oblivion. Shine down. Stand with me. Lightning terrified. Here comes the cash. Busted. Think you can get away? Illusion shattered. Inazuma shines eternal.
Oh, udah.
Dissipate.
Coba ini Shinobu gua ada level. Oh, nggak mampu. Oke. Cukup paham. Orang gua nggak mampu. Oke, kita lanjut.
Time for takeoff. Here we go. Out of my way. Stand with me. Torn to oblivion.
Dia meninggal.
One is strong. I'll settle this. Gotcha.
Aduh, healnya dikit banget lagi.
Shine down. There's no escape.
The wrong test subject.
Stand with me.
Oke, satu lagi.
Think you can get away? Shine down. Here comes the catch. Out of my way. Now you shall perish. Remove all obstacles. Stand with me.
Oke. Sekarang kita benerin serpan kali ya. Panen lagi dulu nih. Energinya kosong. Asik.
There is no escape. Going in. Things are about to get better. Inazuma shines eternal.
Nggak ngakrit.
Shine down.
Nih boleh gak?
Gotcha.
3.000 doang. Oke. Oke. Ini lalu sup.
Gonna be epic.
Oke, sekarang kita mainin quest nyari alat ya. Akhirnya. Bentar. Ntar quest nyari alat tuh gue lupa masih mana tuh. Second floor. Gimana caranya? Mana caranya? Oh ini.
Uncle Tian, we're here to chat with you.
What a lovely surprise. Welcome. Hoishi, why don't you go downstairs and get the shopkeeper?
Haus. Akan keadilan.
I heard that you've been traveling all over the place. Hoishi told you, didn't she? Don't worry, I'm quite all right. It's as I was starting to find that with many things, though the mind is willing, the flesh is weak. Especially noticed a rather drastic drop in my energy levels. I am still very much in good standing as the Tianshu today. Nevertheless, I wish to pass on the position before my mental acuity begins to decline beyond redemption.
How difficult is it to transfer the Tianshu position?
Oh, well, you see, the Tianshu is a rather unique position among the Liyue Qixing. Historically speaking, the Tianshu rarely appears in public. We stay behind the scenes, planning and giving it. We also want to keep any prospective Tianshu candidates free from influence by outside forces, so we tend to be as discreet as possible. For these reasons, the incumbent Tianshu typically recommends their candidate of choice, and this has been approved by the other.
So in other words, you pick someone, and then Lady Keqing, Lady Ningguang, and the other Qixing appoint them?
Correct. Unfortunately, due to my health, I won't be able to assess every candidate, not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to act on my behalf as
siap, Bang.
assessment of.
Oh? Who is it?
I'm heartbroken. I thought it might take you a little longer than this to forget all about.
It's Yelan!
Jackpot. Uncle fancy joining me? You'll be among the first to get to know the next Tianshu.
What do you think? Paimon thinks so too. It can't be a bad thing to be on good terms with a new Qixing, right?
All right then. Though, I gotta say, Uncle Tian, you say you're into behind-the-scenes planning? My work's of the covert variety too. Don't you think I might make a good Tianshu?
Huh? Yelan, you?
I'm not opposed to the idea, but I suspect Ningguang wouldn't let you go very easily after how long you've been working together. So, how about this? If your investigation reveals that none of the other candidates are qualified for the position,
Deal. Well, you guys take your time. Meet me on the first floor when you're ready. Until then, have a pleasant conversation.
Suaranya aduh.
Oh, and no need to pay for your tea. As the new owner of this fine establishment, this runs on the house. You're all set?
Uncle Tian seems really worn down. It's like all his energy's gone.
Yeah, It may sound harsh, but Uncle Tian is past his prime. He's not cut out for this anymore. So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their names are Qinwei, Mingguo, and Zhi. Qinwei is a wealthy entrepreneur. Mingguo works at the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs, and Zhi is focused on study and travel.
冰雹 Chen
Try to keep all that in mind.
Tianwei? Mingbo?
冰雹 gak sih?
Everyone should be able to remember their names, but what does the assessment involve exactly?
Let's leave that until we get to you. All right. Heads in the game, people. The stakes don't get much higher than a change in the Qixing. We can't afford to miss anything, no matter how small.
Oke, sorry.
Got it. We'll keep our eyes.
Yuhai Pavilion itu yang atas ini ya. Sabar, ini kalau ada Ilan berarti Ilannya gue ganti Xingqiu ya. Xingqiu.
May knowledge guide you.
Sabar, tuh energi recharge, stamina-nya recharge. Jatuh. Sudah payah gue naik.
My legs are getting sore. What is wrong with this assessment officer? This is a huge occasion, and I've dealt with all kinds of people in my time, but never have I been made to stand while I'm waiting for an appointment.
Oh, I mean,
That's called being complacent. If you're happy to just accept the way things are, you'll never be able to change anything in the future.
Rambutnya apaan sih? Aneh banget.
Oh, come on. That's just... Now you're just being unreasonable.
All right, you two. Let's not get into a big Qianwei. That was a bit uncalled for. And Mingbo, cut him some slack. We've all been standing around for a while. It's natural to be getting irritable.
Pingpo. Bener gak sih? Sebenarnya. Chinese pronunciation. Mandarin. Pingpo. Wah. Oh ya.
Look, how about this? There's no rule saying we're obliged.
Fine. They're not the...
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived. We'll meet them formally. I've split it into 2 stages: current affairs and planning, and face-to-face interview. In the first stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. In the second stage, we will ask them some questions in person. Writing a manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submitted.
Wow, one of them is really thick.
It's also worth mentioning a stipulation I gave them. Whoever is appointed as the new Tianshu will be expected to implement their plan as put forward in their manifesto. Failing the occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to change their plan. Therefore, these 3 piles of documents in front of us represent where each candidate stands on key policy issues. There's still some time. Have a skim through, get a first impression. I'll be waiting off to the side.
Oke. Cek itu yang mana ya? Domestic affairs, foreign affairs, and checks and balance, all in great detail. Okay. Problem solving. It provides concise and clear solutions to various problems. It's so thick that you only have time to skim through it roughly. Okay. Chanwei addresses many commercial issues and provides some very penetrating analysis. His view seems to be that regulations and incentives are both indispensable. Regulations and incentives are both soal di atas gue ini. Mingpo's manifesto covers domestic affairs quite comprehensively, focusing on people's livelihood. Okay. The greater good means a world that works for everyone. Fine. Jadi buat apa gue baca 3 itu?
Finished, huh?
Everyone took it very.
Of course they did. They have the chance to be picked as the new Tianshu, so you can bet they're putting their best foot forward. And keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. That's for me to know and you to find out. We can talk more after the interviews. We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one at a time.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so you two are the assessment officers, are you? I had assumed that given the great import of this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us in person. I certainly hadn't imagined I'd be seeing 2 entirely unfamiliar faces. I trust you've read through my manifesto? I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult.
Mind your tone, mister.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact. Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus? Oh, yes, I remember now. You must be the traveler that people are constantly talking about. With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition. Perhaps you will be able to understand the concepts I have put forward. Although I shouldn't get my hopes up.
Kedap close up, gue benci banget rambutnya.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
I'm, Mingbo. I work in the Ministry of Civil
Gue
Affairs.
menyerah udah minggu aja.
I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months, and 3 days. In that time, I've handled, 2,347 cases. I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in, 16 days. My current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also responsible for, auditing the accounts. To be more precise, there are 3 parts to the accounts.
Is it just Paimon or?
You know what? Let's leave the self-introduction there and move on to some questions.
Okay. Sorry.
Hello.
Bagus
Not
deh.
gonna
Apa?
lie, I'm feeling a little nervous.
Itu salam kyonghi itu.
What would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure that you have the ability to put your plan into action?
Very fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself, and my manifesto is the conclusion of these efforts. Of course, 2 different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways, and you might reach two very contradictory conclusions depending on which one you're focusing on. What I've tried to do is strike a balance. In other words,
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your proposed solution being the optimal one?
a great question. Well, I'd start by having my colleagues and the secretaries of the Yuehai Pavilion evaluate any proposals before implementation. Post-implementation, it would all come down to the results.
Okay, makes sense.
If it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results, I would take responsibility.
Nice answer. All right, next question.
He seems like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful and logical.
Here's my take on what as you saw, Qianwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many excellent ideas in his manifesto, which effectively target the big issues. But he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. He doesn't care much about other people's feelings. Mingguo's plan is more thorough and more measured.
Mau ML kah?
You can tell he's meticulous in his work, very
Abar.
detailed.
Kelar ini dulu cutscene, habis
He
itu
and
udah.
Qianwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingguo is not very articulate and comes across as...
Perfect summary. Paimon couldn't agree more.
Last but not least, Yi. His manifesto is full of pertinent details, his methodology is sound, and his proposals cover a broad range of
Abar nih,
fields,
abar.
which is, the depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. Plus, he is modest but what really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tien's.
Great.
We'll see.
Oke. Karena sudah diajuk oleh Richard untuk ML, kita sekarang ML dulu ya adik-adik ya. Makasih sudah menonton dan sampai jumpa.